really awkward encounter after she tried to join her husband and his polo teammates on stage after a match last week. Now, it's just so cringeworthy. I don't know why she's up there, for one.
It's been revealed that Meghan Markle actually invited herself to this Paris Fashion Week show earlier this month. Now, the Balenciaga designer has claimed that she reached out and she said she would love to come to the show.
Meghan Markle's got a habit that keeps setting the internet on fire. She always makes sure she's front and center, no matter who's beside her. And the wild part? The cameras have caught her doing it time and time again. These aren't rumors or fan theories. These are real, on-camera moments where Meghan steps ahead, shifts her position, and makes sure the spotlight lands right on her. Sometimes she plays it smooth, but other times it's so bold you can't look away. What really stirs people up is how often it happens, especially in moments where it shouldn't. Big public events, shared milestones, and serious royal gatherings. Yet somehow, the focus keeps swinging right back to Meghan. In this breakdown, we're diving into Meghan Markle's most talked about me-first moments, clips that sent the internet spinning with backlash, confusion, and non-stop debate. Some of these clips will make you double take, and others will make you hit replay just to believe what you saw. And trust me, the last one changes everything. It's the moment that made even her biggest supporters go silent. So stay tuned, watch closely, because once you catch the pattern, you'll never unsee it again. Let's start with one of the most controversial, the Commonwealth Service seat switch. Meghan Markle made a move that still gets talked about today. In a royal event built on order, respect, and restraint, she went completely off script. Cameras caught her shifting seats, moving right past Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and Prince Edward. This wasn't a mix-up or confusion, no way. It was a clear, intentional move straight to the front, right where the cameras were locked in. The whole thing looked rushed, out of place, and way too calculated for such a formal service where every seat has meaning. What made it sting even more was that it didn't have to happen. Sophie is famously calm and gracious. She would have let Meghan pass with zero drama. There was no pressure, no chaos, no reason for that jump forward. But Meghan did it anyway, and that's why so many saw it as a deliberate play for the spotlight, a bold grab for better camera angles and extra attention. Instead of blending into the group, Meghan Markle broke formation, and all eyes snapped straight to her. It happened at the worst possible moment, and the reaction afterwards said everything without a single word. Reportedly, that entire segment got quietly removed from the BBC's official broadcast, a sneaky edit that only made people more curious once they noticed it was missing. That silent cut turned into a bigger story than the clip itself.
Thank you very much, Drew Tucker, for putting on such a great day. Such a great day here at and a big thank you to all of those.
The reason this moment keeps being replayed isn't because it was loud or dramatic. It's because it revealed so much in just a split second. That one move showed how visibility seemed to matter more than protocol, even when a little patience could have achieved the same thing without any fuss. Sometimes the moments that make the biggest noise are the ones that never should have happened at all. Then came the royal tour incident, the one that made it crystal clear Meghan just can't stay out of the spotlight. At a major public event, she couldn't wait her turn like everyone else. She stepped right forward, no hesitation, just a smooth but bold move to the front so the cameras could catch her. The switch-up was impossible to miss. People standing nearby looked shocked, like they couldn't believe what just happened. The natural flow of the moment shattered instantly. What should have been a calm, shared scene suddenly turned tense and uncomfortable. The energy around her felt rushed, almost desperate, like being anywhere but the center was simply not an option. It didn't come across as confidence. It looked forced, like a move made purely for attention. And that's exactly why clips like this never die online. They keep popping back up because they show a pattern. Meghan stepping up, cutting in, claiming the center spot every single time. The cameras caught it all, every single second of it.
By this experience, I think I even saved my little paper place card that said my name on it. Proof that I was there. Proof that I belonged. because the truth was I wasn't sure that I belonged. I was so nervous.
And you didn't even need sound to understand the mood. It was written all over the faces around her. Shock, confusion, straight up disbelief. Some froze completely. Others looked at each other as if saying, "Did that really just happen?" The tension was so thick, you could feel it even through the screen. It was one of those moments where the reaction said everything. The crowd's faces told the real story before anyone even spoke. And here's the ironic twist. Meghan Markle didn't even get the attention she seemed to be reaching for. The applause wasn't there. The spotlight didn't land how she expected. But she still walked away with something else. The internet went wild. Clips spread like wildfire, comments exploded, and replays went viral, not because it was a powerful or graceful moment, but because it was straight up awkward. Sometimes the spotlight doesn't shine the way you plan. It flips and exposes you instead. That's exactly why this scene keeps getting dragged back into the spotlight. Meghan didn't control the story this time, but she became the story. Now let's talk about the Nigeria gift snatch moment of May 2024, a scene so uncomfortable it practically explains itself. During a formal event, a respected local royal stepped up to present a symbolic gift clearly meant for Prince Harry. It was supposed to be a gracious, traditional exchange. Everyone knew the order, the roles, the respect involved, but Meghan couldn't help herself. Just as the gift was being offered, she moved forward, swift, direct, and took it before Harry could even react. No pause, no eye contact, no space, just a straight reach into the center of the moment. The cameras caught every second crystal clear.
The awkward encounter after she tried to join her husband and his polo teammates on stage after a match last week. Now, it's just so cringeworthy. I don't know why she's up there.
And that's when it turned awkward fast. The presenter quickly and politely corrected the scene, gently taking the gift back and handing it to Harry right in front of everyone. Meghan was left standing there empty-handed with that tight, frozen smile that said more than words ever could. You could feel the tension through the screen. Every face around her told the same story. They all saw it. The correction was calm but firm. It said everything without needing to say a word. That quick exchange spread everywhere online. Viewers broke it down frame by frame, and the reaction was brutal. What was supposed to look like a confident, polished moment ended up looking like a power move gone totally wrong. Instead of commanding the scene, she lost control of it right in front of the world. And once again, the cameras didn't flatter, they exposed. The spotlight missed its mark, and that's exactly why this scene still refuses to fade away. During one royal engagement, Meghan Markle pulled a move that left everyone holding their breath. As the group approached the car, cameras caught her stepping forward, looking ready to climb in before the Queen. That's a major breach of royal protocol, where rank determines everything. The moment was tense, and before it could go any further, a palace guard swiftly stepped in, politely signaling that Her Majesty must go first. That should have ended it, but it didn't. When the Queen paused briefly to speak to a staff member, Meghan leaned in again, edging forward like she was testing the limits. The hesitation around her was intense. You could practically see everyone freeze, unsure of what was about to happen next. The energy was so uneasy that even viewers watching later could feel it through the screen.
It's been revealed that Meghan Markle actually invited herself to this Paris Fashion Week show earlier this month. Now, the Balenciaga designer has claimed that she reached out and she said she would love to come.
To keep things calm and avoid a public scene, the Queen eventually let Meghan enter the car first. But by then, the moment had already turned awkward. What should have been a simple, respectful exchange turned into something visibly uncomfortable, caught from multiple camera angles. Critics said this wasn't about nerves. Royal protocol is drilled in constantly, especially during joint appearances. Moments like this made it look like Meghan either didn't fully grasp the rules or decided to bend them her own way. That's exactly why this clip still gets replayed to this day. Not because it was dramatic or loud, but because it quietly revealed a deeper disconnect, even when standing beside Queen Elizabeth II herself. What should have been a symbol of unity ended up feeling like another push to stand out in the spotlight, and everyone noticed. Then came another viral flashpoint. living in the shadow of the future queen. In this clip, many viewers believe Meghan was caught being subtly disrespectful towards Kate Middleton during a somber royal walkabout. Meghan's tiny move spoke volumes. A quick, cold nod seemed to dismiss Kate completely, a striking contrast to the warmth Kate showed to the public. The difference in energy was impossible to miss. While Kate moved gracefully, greeting mourners with calm respect, Meghan's eagerness to take charge, starting handshakes early and pulling the focus, broke royal formality and shifted attention back onto herself. What was meant to be a shared, solemn moment, honoring tradition, suddenly looked like another power play. And once again, the cameras didn't miss a single detail. That self-centered move from Meghan Markle left everyone watching feeling second-hand awkwardness. You could see it right there in the faces of the crowd. People noticed the tension instantly. Even in what should have been a simple, polite moment, Meghan brushed off an aide's attempt to help her with a bouquet of flowers, creating another scene that fed into the growing image of entitlement and disregard. It added yet another clip to the long list of moments where Meghan seemed to put her own comfort and presentation above everyone else's feelings. The contrast was sharp. Kate Middleton stood calm, composed, and graceful beside her, showing quiet respect that made Meghan's reaction stand out even more. Critics couldn't help pointing out how Meghan's behavior seemed to ignore the gravity of the occasion, turning what was meant to be a solemn appearance into something that looked self-focused. To many viewers, it felt like she was determined to keep that spotlight on herself, even if it meant unintentionally overshadowing the future queen, Kate Middleton. Then came another headline-making scene, the polo trophy box controversy. After one of Prince Harry's polo wins in Florida, the event should have been all celebration and pride for the team. But when it came time to pose for the group photo, the mood shifted fast. Cameras caught Meghan reaching toward a teammate's trophy box, one that clearly wasn't hers to touch. The player noticed right away and gently pulled it back, keeping things polite but making sure the moment stayed on the team where it belonged. That really should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. Instead of stepping aside, Meghan slipped back under raised arms, squeezing herself into the center of the frame again, like she refused to be left out of the shot. The move looked clumsy, the timing awkward, and the air instantly felt tense. You could see it on everyone's faces, polite smiles trying to cover confusion, but the discomfort was obvious. What was supposed to be a proud victory photo suddenly looked like a tug-of-war for attention. To many watching, it didn't read as confidence. It looked more like a desperate attempt to stay visible when the moment wasn't about her at all. A simple team win turned into another viral moment, not for the trophy, but for the awkward grab and the uncomfortable energy that followed. And of course, the cameras caught everything. Meghan Markle just can't seem to stop putting herself in the middle, no matter whose moment it is. Even when the spotlight clearly belongs to someone else, she somehow finds a way to slide right in. Instead of standing back and letting others enjoy their win, she steps forward, hands out, body leaning in, eyes fixed straight on the camera. It's like not being in the frame simply isn't an option for her. What makes these moments so awkward is how unnecessary they are. Nobody's asking her to jump in. Nobody's inviting her to take over. Yet there she is, reaching for things that aren't hers or inserting herself right where she doesn't need to be. For a lot of people watching, it doesn't come across as support. It looks like interference, a subtle but clear attempt to redirect the spotlight. That's exactly why these clips never stop making rounds online. Instead of people talking about the win, the focus flips straight back to her. The attention shifts again and again, not naturally, but because she made sure it did. It's the same story every time. Meghan finds her way into the frame, and suddenly what should have been someone else's moment becomes all about her. Then came another eyebrow-raising scene, the crown jewels incident. During a royal visit, cameras caught a moment that made palace staff visibly tense. As Meghan Markle and Prince Harry approached the area where the crown jewels were displayed, the couple seemed to move forward before they were cleared to do so. This wasn't just a tiny slip-up. These areas run on strict rules, heavy security, and a very specific order of entry. Even royals have to wait for the signal. palace aide reacted fast, stepping in and physically stopping them until the king and queen made their way ahead first. The pause only lasted a few seconds, but wow, it was painfully awkward. You could see the sudden halt, the uncertain glances, the quiet correction happening right there in real time. And then came the comparison that made headlines. Moments later, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, entered the exact same area with calm, grace, and total composure. No rushing, no hesitation, no confusion. Just smooth, perfect protocol. Exactly how Queen Elizabeth II always handled things. Catherine didn't need anyone to guide or stop her. She simply knew what to do. Without saying a single word, Catherine showed the difference. Where Meghan and Harry appeared unaware or impatient, Catherine moved with quiet confidence and total understanding of royal tradition. The contrast was crystal clear, and everyone watching caught it. That's why this moment still gets replayed, not because it was explosive, but because it revealed something subtle yet powerful. In royal circles, true grace isn't about stepping forward first. It's about knowing when not to move at all. But that lesson seemed lost in one of Meghan Markle's most talked about moments yet, the time she cut off Prince Harry on stage. During their self-proclaimed Nigeria tour, cameras caught a scene that said more than words ever could. Meghan stepped right in front of Prince Harry, not beside him, not slightly ahead, in front of him, blocking him almost completely from view. The reaction was instant. You could see people on stage exchanging looks of surprise, and one woman near Harry even glanced toward Meghan like she was waiting for her to step aside, but she didn't. Harry tried to handle it gently, giving her a small nudge, a quiet cue to move over so they could stand together, but Meghan stood her ground, feet planted, posture firm, not budging an inch. The moment was short, but the message was clear. This wasn't about sharing the stage, it was about commanding it. What was supposed to look like a joint appearance suddenly felt one-sided, with Meghan perfectly centered for the cameras while Harry faded into the background like a side act at his own event. Viewers couldn't ignore it. To many, it didn't look like confidence, it looked like control. Even in a setting meant to celebrate both of them, Meghan's body language made it crystal clear who was meant to be seen. And that's exactly why this clip keeps spreading online. It's quiet, it's brief, but once you notice it, you start seeing the same pattern everywhere. Every joint appearance after that looks different, like she's always finding a way to be the main focus. Then came another headline moment, Meghan's unexpected move at Paris Fashion Week. Now, this event is supposed to be all about the art of fashion, the clothes, the designers, the creativity on display. It's a space where elegance speaks louder than attention-grabbing gestures. But when Meghan showed up, critics say the vibe shifted instantly. Instead of letting the fashion take center stage, she became the center of attention. Every movement, every pose, every glance toward the cameras looked intentional, like the show wasn't about the runway anymore, but about her. The collections faded into the background as flashes followed Meghan's every step. To critics, it didn't come off as effortless or refined. It felt loud and performative in a setting that thrives on subtle grace. Fashion Week isn't about stealing the spotlight, it's about respecting the artistry around you. But that day, the conversation wasn't about the designers or the fashion. It was all about Meghan Markle, once again standing in the middle of a moment that was never meant to revolve around her. Meghan Markle didn't seem interested in blending in or quietly playing her part. She wanted the center. She wanted the cameras, the spotlight, the full attention, no matter where she was or what the moment called for. That's exactly why people still can't stop talking about it. In a space meant to celebrate pure fashion and creativity, Meghan managed to turn the spotlight away from the art and straight onto herself. But it didn't stop there, because next came another bold spotlight grab, one that shocked even longtime royal watchers. Critics say Meghan made a move that left a lot of people speechless. Instead of stepping back and showing restraint, she chose a place that many believed should have been left untouched, a location deeply connected to the tragic death of Princess Diana. There, Meghan reportedly filmed a video meant for viewers online. This wasn't just another glamorous outing, it felt personal, emotional, and for many, painfully mistimed. That location carries deep grief and memory, especially for Prince Harry, who's been open about the lifelong pain and trauma from losing his mother. So when people saw that site being turned into filmed content, it didn't sit right. To many, it didn't come across as reflection, it came across as another performance. The energy didn't feel solemn or respectful, it felt like another reach for attention no matter the emotional cost. What truly bothered critics most was how detached it seemed. No visible pause, no sense that Harry's emotions mattered in that moment. The focus, once again, stayed squarely on Meghan. Sure, she got the attention, headlines, trending clips, endless reactions, but it wasn't admiration that followed. It was backlash, the kind that lingers. People called it cold, tone-deaf, or even disrespectful. A place tied to deep grief had turned into a stage, and that crossed the line for many viewers. Then came the Polo Challenge controversy. What was supposed to be a joyful, polished celebration ended up turning into another tense on-camera moment. After Prince Harry's team took home the win, the group gathered for the classic trophy presentation. A simple setup, players in the middle, charity representatives to the side, quick photos, and done. But once again, the cameras caught something different. Meghan Markle was seen stepping in and appearing to direct Sophie Chanka, the respected chairwoman of the Central charity, to move away from Harry and closer to her. The move looked assertive, some would even say territorial, and the energy around the stage shifted instantly.
What should have been a quick, clean, feel-good moment turned awkward fast. You could see the hesitation in the body language around her. Smiles turning stiff, glances darting, people unsure how to react. Once again, Meghan had turned a shared celebration into another moment where all eyes ended up on her. The moment was subtle, but wow, it spoke volumes. Meghan gestured slightly, and Dr. Alka adjusted her position, shifting just enough for Meghan to slide perfectly into the center of the shot. It all happened smoothly, but the cameras caught every second of it. The move looked staged, unnecessary, and impossible to miss. What should have been a clean photo focused on the team's win and the charity suddenly became an awkward reshuffle right before everyone's eyes. Dr. Chanka was gently pushed aside while Meghan ended up holding the prime position, center stage, as Prince Harry was nudged off to the side during his own victory moment. To critics, it didn't look like leadership or coordination. It looked like quiet control. Another subtle move to make sure the photo and the spotlight landed exactly where Meghan wanted it. That's why this clip refuses to fade away. It isn't the trophy people remember, it's the power move behind it. Once again, Meghan Markle just couldn't seem to let anyone else share the spotlight, even at a charity event. What should have been all about the cause, the players, and the people being helped slowly shifted into something else entirely. It stopped being about Harry's win, it stopped being about the charity's mission, and it became yet another moment centered around Meghan's presence. Instead of blending naturally into the group, she positioned herself front and center, picture perfect for the cameras. And just like that, the focus moved away from the reason everyone was there and locked right onto her. Viewers watching later couldn't help but notice how intentional it all seemed. Every gesture, every step felt like part of a bigger pattern where every public moment had to orbit around Meghan, no matter what the occasion was. That's exactly why people reacted so strongly, because when even a charity event turns into a personal spotlight moment, it raises a real question. Was it ever really about the cause? Critics point to this as part of a consistent pattern, one that's hard to unsee once you notice it. And then came another moment that fueled the same debate. The One Young World speech that turned into All About Meghan. The global summit was meant to celebrate young leaders, people out there changing communities, fighting real challenges, and shaping the future. The event's purpose was clear, to lift up the next generation of changemakers. But the second Meghan Markle took the stage, the tone shifted completely. What was supposed to be about the youth in the room started sounding like a personal spotlight session. In a short 7-minute speech, Meghan mentioned herself 34 times. Not the young people's struggles, not their work or accomplishments, hers. The room was packed with rising leaders from all over the world, yet the message kept circling back to Meghan's own story and experiences. What was supposed to be an inspiring platform for youth voices started feeling more like a reflection of her own journey. To many, it didn't sound empowering, it sounded self-focused. That's why this speech keeps resurfacing, because it became another example, another layer in the growing pattern critics keep calling out. Once you spot it, it changes the way every Meghan Markle appearance looks afterward. And then came that moment, the one that made everyone stop and look twice. Meghan Markle began talking about how she kept her name card from the event, saying it reminded her that she belonged there. But instead of sounding uplifting, critics said it came off as something else, less inspiring, more like a quiet plea for recognition. It didn't sound like encouragement, it sounded like "notice me." For many watching, that's when the disconnect became impossible to ignore. What was meant to be an event celebrating others slowly turned into something centered on one person. The youth, the real focus of the summit, faded into the background, while Meghan's own story stayed in the spotlight. That's exactly why this speech still gets replayed and debated. It wasn't about what it inspired, but about what it exposed. In a room full of future changemakers, somehow all the attention circled back to just one name, Meghan Markle. What should have been a moment of collective celebration quietly turned into something else entirely. Instead of highlighting the attendees, their missions, or the impact of their work, the energy in the room started revolving around Meghan herself. Her words, her tone, her reactions, everything seemed to draw focus back to her. Many viewers later described it as a Meghan-centric performance. The event stopped feeling like a shared experience and began looking more like a solo act. The applause hit hardest not after mentions of the honorees or their achievements, but after Meghan's personal stories. The crowd's reactions followed her narrative instead of the real purpose of the gathering. To critics, it didn't feel like a slip, it felt deliberate. The whole moment came off as carefully controlled, as if the event had quietly shifted from celebrating many voices to centering just one. That's why this moment stands out years later, not because of the words themselves, but because of what they revealed about the atmosphere in the room. When an event loses its focus and the spotlight lands on the wrong person, people don't forget it. And this was one of those moments that stuck. And then came another unforgettable scene, the 2018 British Fashion Awards incident. Guests at the glamorous ceremony witnessed a split second of tension that left the whole room buzzing. As actress Rosamund Pike stood on stage beside Meghan Markle, things took an unexpected turn. When it was time to present the award, Meghan stepped forward faster than anyone expected, ending up directly in front of Rosamund, subtly pushing her off balance and out of frame. The move was quick but unmistakable. Cameras caught the shift, and you could feel the awkwardness ripple through the crowd. What should have been a seamless, elegant presentation turned into a strange power moment that stole all the attention away from the honoree and on to Meghan. For critics, that brief gesture summed up what they'd been saying all along. No matter the stage, Meghan somehow finds her way to the center. And that night at the British Fashion Awards, the spotlight didn't just find her, she made sure it did. Right in the middle of the show, Meghan Markle did something absolutely no one saw coming. In a night full of glamour and precision, where every cue was rehearsed and every presenter knew their role, she took over the stage without warning. According to people who were there, the entire event had been tightly scripted, every line, every moment locked in. Rosamund Pike was already in perfect position, doing exactly what she was assigned to do. Then suddenly, Meghan stepped into the spotlight. No cue, no signal, just straight onto the stage like it was always meant to be hers. You could feel the confusion ripple through the room instantly. Organizers scrambled, staff moved fast, and even Rosamund, who looked momentarily caught off guard, had to step aside to make space. The show's smooth flow shattered in seconds as everyone tried to adjust on the spot. Meghan, on the other hand, didn't flinch. She moved forward with full confidence, like this was her cue all along. Cameras caught every angle, and within moments, social media was buzzing. To critics, this wasn't bold, it was disruptive. A a perfectly choreographed event was suddenly thrown off balance so one person could stand center stage. The focus shifted instantly, not because it was earned at that moment, but because it was taken. That's exactly why this British Fashion Awards moment still gets talked about. Not for the glamour, not for the fashion, but for the awkward takeover that turned a collective celebration into a personal spotlight grab right in front of everyone. And if that wasn't enough, another headline-making moment came not long after, the elbow incident at the Hamilton charity event in 2018. Cameras were rolling as Meghan Markle, alongside Prince Harry, arrived at London's Victoria Palace Theatre for a night supporting charity. Everything seemed smooth, until one blink-and-you-miss-it move stole the attention. As guests and officials gathered, Meghan stepped forward and appeared to elbow past a man to get to the front of the group. It was quick, but not quick enough. The cameras caught the motion perfectly. The man looked startled, and the people nearby froze for a split second, realizing the flow had just been broken. Instead of waiting her turn or following the royal formation, Meghan kept moving, sliding straight into the prime position for the photos. The message was clear: being seen more than following protocol.
What made the moment even more uncomfortable was where it happened. This wasn't a red carpet or a royal procession. It was a charity night, a shared space meant to honor generosity and teamwork. Yet, in just one quick move, the entire focus shifted. The atmosphere changed, smiles stiffened, and all eyes turned to the small, unexpected shove that sent ripples through the room. To critics, it didn't look confident. It looked calculated, even forced. A moment designed to spotlight a cause had once again turned into a moment all about Meghan Markle, and the cameras didn't miss a single frame. Another example of how positioning seemed to matter more than patience, and that's exactly why this clip keeps circulating online. Not because it was loud or dramatic, but because it was caught. One small shove, one startled reaction, and a reminder that the cameras never miss when someone tries to slip past. Then came a moment that made people genuinely stop and ask, why was she even there? The Veterans Event controversy at the 2023 Invictus Games. Cameras captured Meghan Markle marching right in front of wounded veterans, men and women who had sacrificed their bodies and futures in service. This was their moment, their walk, their recognition. And yet, there was Meghan, front and center again, leading the group as if it were her stage. People were stunned. Sure, we've seen her move toward the front before, but this time hit differently. This wasn't a fashion show or a red carpet appearance. This was an event honoring real heroes, people who'd faced unthinkable challenges and earned that spotlight through courage and sacrifice. So when viewers saw Meghan taking the lead position, it just didn't sit right. For many, it wasn't awkward, it was flat out wrong. If there was ever a moment to step back and let others take the lead, this was it. But she didn't. Instead, the focus that should have been on the veterans shifted straight to her walk, her presence, her positioning. That's why this clip still sparks heated discussion, because it raises a simple question. What exactly did Meghan do to deserve walking ahead of the veterans? What role gave her the right to be in front instead of beside them or respectfully behind them? It's a fair question, and to so many watching, it didn't look like support at all. It looked like another moment where the spotlight seemed to matter more than the meaning. And just when you thought things couldn't get more talked about, along came another highly dissected scene, the Fiji market tour. In footage from the trip, Meghan Markle appeared in a bright, striking pink dress, weaving her way through a crowded local market with practiced poise and an almost regal confidence. Smiles, waves, perfectly composed body language, it all looked polished on the surface. But underneath that calm exterior, things quickly started to shift. The market was packed, the crowd buzzing with excitement, but behind the scenes, there was rising tension. Palace staff and security were visibly on edge, the tight walkways and crowd energy making the visit more complicated by the minute. As Meghan moved through, it became less about the local vendors and more about her presence. Every camera lens, every eye fixed on her. What was meant to be a cultural visit turned into another viral talking point. For critics, it was yet another example of Meghan unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, turning a shared event into her own showcase moment. The pink dress, the slow walk, the confident gaze, it all made sure the spotlight found her once again. A tense moment caught on camera, one that spread across the internet in seconds. As Meghan Markle turned away from the crowd during the Fiji market tour, her expression changed fast. The friendly smile she just flashed melted into something completely different, a look of clear irritation that flickered across her face before she snapped back into composure. It was so quick, most might have missed it, but the cameras didn't. A tiny twitch of her lips, a subtle glare, it all happened in a split second, but it spoke volumes. To viewers, that micro-expression looked sharp, even cold. A brief, unguarded glimpse that seemed to clash with the polished royal image she usually maintained. Some claimed they even saw a small, frustrated sound slip out under her breath, barely noticeable, but enough to get people talking. The moment lasted only a heartbeat, but its impact was huge. Critics seized on it immediately, calling it a rare flash of Meghan's real mood behind the smiles. Whether it was annoyance, exhaustion, or just bad timing, it became yet another viral debate over her authenticity on royal tours. Reports later claimed that someone nearby was upset after the exchange, which only fueled the narrative that the encounter had been more tense than it looked. Then there's the pattern people keep pointing out: Meghan pulling Harry forward to control the spotlight. It's something that's been caught on camera more than once, and once you notice it, you start seeing it everywhere. At event after event, Meghan Markle can be seen subtly guiding or sometimes tugging Prince Harry's arm to move him forward, just enough for her to step ahead and land directly in the camera's frame. Sometimes it's just a light pull, other times a fast step, but the outcome is nearly always the same. Meghan ends up in front, perfectly centered for the shot. What makes these moments stand out isn't just the movement, it's where they happen. These are group events, public walks, joint appearances meant to show unity and partnership. Everyone is supposed to move together as one. But again and again, Meghan seems to break formation, taking that extra half step that puts her ahead of Harry and everyone else beside them. To critics, it doesn't feel spontaneous or natural. It feels calculated, like every step and gesture is mapped out to secure the best angle and maximum attention. Harry's own body language often makes it even more noticeable, hesitating slightly, pausing mid-stride, or glancing at her with a quiet, uncertain expression. These small shifts may seem harmless, but to viewers, they tell a bigger story. It's a consistent pattern that makes public moments between them look less like teamwork and more like choreography aimed at keeping Meghan right where she wants to be, in front of the cameras and in control of the spotlight. You can see it in every frame. Prince Harry looks slightly off balance, always a half step behind, reacting instead of leading. The motion feels rushed, almost improvised, like it wasn't meant to play out that way. Instead of showing natural confidence or easy chemistry, these moments often come off as forced positioning. Not teamwork, not flow, just a quiet struggle for control at the center of attention. And that's exactly why people keep re-watching these clips. When the same kind of move shows up again and again, it stops looking like coincidence. It starts looking like a pattern, maybe even a habit. Each appearance, each small adjustment adds to the bigger picture people can't stop analyzing. And there you have it, me first moments. Meghan Markle's recurring pattern of stepping ahead, leading the frame, and shifting the focus toward herself. Different events, different settings, same dynamic. Some of these moments were so subtle you'd almost miss them. Others were so bold they stopped people in their tracks. But when you line them all up side by side, it gets harder and harder to believe they were just random or accidental. To a lot of viewers, they look deliberate, planned, timed, and executed with quiet precision. Every move seems to make sure that wherever Meghan is, the camera follows. Now here's the big question. Which moment shocked you the most? Was it the one that felt just a bit too bold, the one that crossed the line of royal etiquette, or maybe that one clip that made you pause, rewind, and say, did that really just happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know which scene left you speechless.
And if there's another moment you've noticed that didn't make it into this list, share it below. Let's talk about it. If this breakdown opened your eyes to the pattern or made you see these public moments differently, hit that like button, leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, the story isn't finished yet, and the next part might just change the way you see everything.